Cities and towns under the oblast's jurisdiction: Rostov-on-Don City Districts: Kirovsky, Leninsky, Oktyabrsky, Pervomaysky, Proletarsky, Sovetsky, Voroshilovsky, Zheleznodorozhny, Azov, Bataysk, Donetsk, Gukovo, Kamensk-Shakhtinsky, Novocherkassk, Novoshakhtinsk, Shakhty, Taganrog, Volgodonsk, Zverevo. Districts: Aksaysky Towns under the district's jurisdiction: Aksay with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Azovsky with 18 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Bagayevsky with 5 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Belokletvinsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Belaya-Kalitva urban-type settlement under the district's jurisdiction, Sholokhovsky with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Bukovsky with 7 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Chertkovsky with 14 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Dubovsky with 13 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Kagulnitsky with 8 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Kamensky urban-type settlement under the district's jurisdiction, Gluboky with 11 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Kasharsky with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Konstantinovsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Konstantinovsk with 6 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Krasnoselensky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Krasny Sulin urban-type settlement under the district's jurisdiction, Gorny Uglerodovsky with 12 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Kybyshevsky with 3 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Martinovsky with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Matveyevo-Kurgansky with 8 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Milorovsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Milorevo with 12 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Milyatinsky with 7 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Morozovsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Morozovsk with 8 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Mayarnikovsky with 7 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Neklinovsky with 18 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Oblivsky with 7 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Oktyabrsky urban-type settlement under the district's jurisdiction, Kamenolomny with 11 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Orlovsky with 11 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Pashnonikopsky with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Proletarsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Proletarsk with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Remontnansky with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Rodionovo-Nesvetaysky with 6 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Salsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Salsh with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Semikarakorsky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Semikarakorsk with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Sholokhovsky with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Sovetsky with 3 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Tarasovsky with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Tatsinsky urban-type settlement under the district's jurisdiction, Zherna with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Slinsky with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Simlyansky Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Simlyansk with 6 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Ust-Donetsky urban-type settlement under the district's jurisdiction, Ust-Donetsky with 7 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Verkhnedonskoy with 10 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Voroshilovsky with 4 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Volgodonsk with 7 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Yegorliksky with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Zavetinsky with 9 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Zheleznodorozhny Towns under the district's jurisdiction, Zheleznodorozhny with 8 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction, Zimovnikovsky with 11 selsovets under the district's jurisdiction,